direct from the beautiful Inland Blue Studios. Honey, this is the Nerdlife Crisis podcast with your hosts, that fine-ass Chris Thayer, that beautiful Steve Hale, and that big hunker chunk of meat, Ron Milts. Woo! Mama's hot up in here. Let's get this party started.
All right, everybody, and welcome back to the Nerdlife Crisis podcast. Here with your host today, Chris Thayer,
Steve Hale,
and I'm Ron Milts. It's our pre-Comic-Con exclusive.
Woo!
That's right. Comic-Con officially starts in... Actually, the floor opens in 20 minutes, so while we're podcasting. So We'll be down there tomorrow and Friday and Saturday. So if you guys are looking for Chris or I, and Steve will be down Friday night, just keep an eye out. We'll be down in San Diego, living it up per usual. But we got a lot to talk about because we haven't podcasted in basically a month. So
yeah, it's been a while.
Summer is a busy time.
Yeah, and you know what? Like travels and vacations and work just gets in the way. But
well, we did stockpile a couple episodes.
We did. This is true.
To accommodate, because we knew it was going to happen.
Well, because it always does. Like, the end of June comes in July, and it's like, it's warm. I want to be outside with my shirt off. That, you know, nobody really wants to see that. But I want to be outside with my shirt off, enjoying the beach and the sun rays, you know? So, which is where I was yesterday. So,
you went to the beach?
Know, honestly, people, like, you know, the whole, like, basis of our show is that we are these, like, 40-something-year-old grown nerds with families, and you know, sometimes we just can't always, you know, we got to do family crap.
It kind of gets annoying, but
the wife starts to frown upon, like, you're like, if I don't do this, you take away my comic books.
But, well, I'm not worried about the comic books as much as what else she could withhold. But
that's true too.
But yeah, man. So we went just real quick before we get started. I have to tell you guys, I went down yesterday and I've discovered something. I think I'm late to the game on this, but have you guys ever done an escape room before?
Oh, I keep seeing that.
I have not done one. I've got friends who actually have turned it into a business.
Yeah.
They've got a couple. I know a few people in the area who've got them. So I have not done one yet, though.
So we went last night with our friends from Chicago down to the beach, and we're hanging out at Balboa for the day. And then it was like, what do you guys want to do in the evening? So we grabbed a beer at like a bar down in Balboa, and then we just found an escape room. So we scheduled an escape room for 6:30, I think it was. So we get down there and we do. It was a National Treasure escape room essentially. So we're like in the Oval Office, and we got an hour to like solve all these clues. And none of us had ever done this before. And of course, being the hyper competitive people that we are, like, we failed. And then it was like, we literally walked out, and I'm like, well, I'm kind of hungry. And it was like, I kind of looked at my wife, and I looked at our buddy Adam and his wife, and I was like, yeah, we're doing another one, right? Like, right away. And they're like, well, yeah. And I'm like, no, like, tonight. We're doing another one tonight, right? And so we literally were like, so Elena gets on her phone and schedules a second one for 9:30, and we go and we drink, and we basically have a little bit of sushi and get shit-faced, and then we go to another escape room, but we fucking beat that one. But these things are, it's like, at first I thought it was going to be kind of dumb, and then we got in there, and it was actually a really good time. So the second one we did, we were trying to build some sort of time machine. Basically, you're just always constantly trying to work to open a door, like to get these puzzles solved.
Yeah.
But the second one fucked with us. We opened the door, and there was another room with a whole other set of puzzles. And we thought we were like the shit at a half an hour, and we're like, damn it! And so... yeah, but like the thought that goes into these, like it's like little Rube Goldbergian devices, like all over the place, like good time. So if you guys never Escape with a K, ESKAPE down in Costa Mesa, Irvine, they have a fantastic room, and the other one is called Number One Escape that we did. So
I saw a flyer today in Redlands that there's one out in there.
It was the second one was weird because it was in like a realtor's office building where like you go in and it has sort of the grand entrance room, and there's like where you expect lawyers and such to be, and you like go down the hall to where the reception would be, and that's the entrance. There's no door. It's just like open. You're like, oh, it's right here, I guess. So here's the escape room, and they're basically just in a little office in the back. But it was a good time, man. I mean, there was a couple moments of like, so the first one, literally she's like, this law, you do not need to open thing. You do not need to force anything open. Please do not rip things off the wall. Please, please do not do this. And so literally at one point I was like, we're going through and it was like, the hint was like a hole at child's height. And there was a grate, like a return or a return register for the air conditioning. And somebody's like, well, that's at child's height. Should we remove that? And you hear this faint voice. It's all, no. Because they've got cameras and such.
Right.
Yeah, and then there was another one where it was like the second one, it had all these little stickers with like do not touch signs. And Elena literally picks up something and she's like, what about this? I'm all, you're not allowed to touch that. And she goes, I can touch it. And she turns around, she goes, oh shit. And then she drops it. And I'm all, no, like that's why you're not supposed to touch it. So, but yeah, it was a good time. Good time.
That's cool.
So, Steve, what have you been up to recently?
Oh man, honestly, nothing nerdy. Lots of hiking.
Hiking's kind of nerdy. I like hiking.
Yeah. Then, a lot of that. Teaching the boys how to swim.
Nice, man.
Nice. My boys are a little bit. They're way behind Ronald Andrew.
Wow, he's like a fish.
You guys own a pool.
True.
I don't own a pool, but we made great strides in that. So
Nice.
It's been pretty cool.
Nice, man.
But yeah, I've just been busy with that. Plus, honestly, right now the day job, man, is passing out the OT. And I cannot pass that shit up, dude. I love it. Get on that shit. So I've been pretty busy with that.
Nice.
So,
How about you, Chris? What you been up to?
Just working, man.
Yeah?
Just working and working and working. Finishing up the Big Papa record and finishing up a complete redrawing of Grace 1.
Yeah, it looks great. Like everything I've seen.
I've seen your updates. Like you've done
It's night and day.
X
dude.
amount of, you'll say
Yeah.
like I've done X amount of pictures out of how many?
Yeah.
It was
Like the goal was
72
150
or-
pages.
Oh, 150,
He's
okay.
already way past that.
Right,
He's blown
right.
past
That's
that.
cool.
July.
It's stalled a bit
cool.
because I'm only putting finished new pages.
Right.
But if you think about it, I completely redid Grace 1.
Yeah.
And I'm not counting those pages. So that's another like 28 pages that I probably could count.
Well,
Well,
then
I completely redrew them.
We sent the book out to reviewers like
Mm-hmm.
this last week, and so we got our first review back, and it was I'd say overwhelmingly positive.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
That's cool.
yeah, man. So
Yeah.
it's
And they got it. And
Because sometimes those guys can be
douchebags. Yeah.
fucking brutal, dude. You're just like, I'm done.
right.
Fucking shit. Going back to flipping fucking burgers.
No, this was it was a group called Comics Brew, and I think they do a podcast and a website and all that.
Oh, okay, cool.
But what impressed me is most of the time when you get a review of anything, they'll give a couple little points, but you're like, yeah, they may have read that. They may have listened to it or whatever. But this dude like got it.
Yeah.
Like subtext and subtle things that were in there that the average reader wouldn't have gotten. And he's like, oh, he totally nailed it.
That's cool.
So that was kind of a nice first,
Yeah.
review.
Yeah. So
I got about 5 or 6 that say, yeah, when we're back from Comic-Con, we'll send you one.
Oh, all right.
so exciting times, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God. So we took the comic book
Vegas.
company down to Vegas, Steve. So have you ever been to the Vegas Con before?
No, I have not.
The Vegas Con was well, first off, it was 123 degrees. So
Ooh, God, it's like walking on the sun.
it was brutally fucking hot. And
Yeah.
loading in was like, you basically are like, the minute you get out of the car, you're sweating, and then you're carrying comic books inside. The first thing I was kind of surprised was it really wasn't as big as I thought it was going to be.
No,
like
it's a
you think it's
smaller
like
show.
Las Vegas, but the convention center is not as big as it could be.
Nah.
So it was like, it was half, maybe Long Beach size,
Right.
Maybe. So we're not really big. But the first day we were there, Chris and I decided to call it Simple Jack Con because for go ahead, Chris.
I swear to God, there was like a field trip or something.
It was like every third person was just like a very nice but special needs person. They kept coming up to the booth, and it was
And
just
it wasn't even like... It was just Gump Con, dude. It was like like here's where your son is, and here's average, and
Yeah.
and it was such a trip because I was like, man, is it me or are these some fucking simple people, dude?
Well, you know what? This took place at the same time we were discussing our Facebook page.
yes. Oh my
We
God.
had put a fucking joke up
yes,
on
exactly.
the Facebook page, and I literally had to put a picture up of a stick figure with the joke going over this guy's fucking head.
But it wasn't the only one. That
I
there
know,
was-
there were
it
a
was
couple
like
of 'em.
fucking mind-boggling. And even one guy came back and said, like, in this day and age, like, I can't tell what's a joke and what's not anymore, or something like that. It's like,
That was a pretty obvious. It was the
Yeah.
Michael Keaton Batman thing.
yeah, I gave him his last $20 bill or some shit
and
like
that boy was Michael Keaton.
And then somebody has to come back and say, you know, Michael Keaton is considerably older than
Ben Affleck.
And they're like, oh, holy shit, man.
It was, there was so much of that at this first day of this convention that Chris and I, it became like 1 out of every 3 people like would walk up to the booth and you'd be like, hi, da 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 da, and they'd start and you'd be like, oh fuck, like
I like comics.
I like turtles.
Whoa.
The one girl was like my favorite. Like this very attractive young woman comes up and we're like, oh, are you interested in comic books? And she literally was like, I love books. Books are great. And we're all, okay. Good for you.
So somebody just fucking wandered out of rehab. The pool party down the street over at the fucking Hilton to your.
I will say this about the
Hard
Vegas
Rock.
Con. Easily my favorite part of the weekend was the body painted
Oh my
Avengers.
God.
The group of 7 girls that were completely naked head to toe except for their body paint.
Yeah.
That were the Avengers. And the one girl that stopped at our booth and talked to us for 20 minutes as Iron Man.
Bless her
And they're
heart.
like, you're trying for me and you,
Just
and you're
straight nipple.
like right in. You got to look her in the eye. You
Right.
just can't.
And you're talking like easily a full D. And you're like,
That's awesome.
yes.
And
yes.
you know she's
I
waiting
would've
for you to
told her,
look
too. I
down.
would've been like, you know what, dude? I gotta be honest. I am having a very hard time fucking talking to you
There
right
was
now.
some of that-
You
and
are very beautiful, and I'm
that-
completely distracted.
That conversation
and fully
came up.
aroused.
Well, not part that, but literally, she's like, "Oh, you guys are fine." She's like, "We don't care." She's like, "It's just like we don't do car shows and stuff like that anymore because they get a little too handsy." And I'm like, she's like, "You guys, you're completely kind. I don't care." And we're like, "Well, thank you." Eyes moving downwards. Please continue talking. But yeah, that was. But they came down every day. Body painted as something different. Mm-hmm. So the first day it was the Avengers, and then the second day it was like the Power Rangers or some shit like that.
And that's real big out there too in Vegas.
Right.
The whole body painting.
Well, you got to
dude.
figure there's like a strip joint or a burlesque show or a, whatever in every corner.
Right.
So
Yeah,
it is Sin City. So.
It was definitely interesting as far as like cons go. Like, how do I put this? A lot of times I go to these cons and I'm like, if this was my first con, like I don't know that I would ever come back to a con.
Right.
But like, and this was not a bad con. Like I enjoyed it, but it was like too much tchotchkes. Like I fucking hate going to cons and it's like tchotchkes everywhere. Like bullshit. It's like it's like the very nice guy next to us was selling soap. Cool. Like. Good.
He was selling soap.
But he was selling soap, like at a comic convention. David was a cool
and
cat.
next to him,
we had the Lego people on the other side.
Oh,
And
no,
next-
yeah.
And so we had the people with like they took Lego figures and literally turned them into necklaces,
Yeah.
and that's what they sold.
that's it. They
Right.
just put some fucking hoops on them.
And you're like, cool, but what does any of this have
You know
to do
what?
with Comic-Con?
I get the same thing when I go to like horror conventions.
Right.
Because, back like, 17, 18 years ago, all of a sudden some rockabilly girl came out with these, fucking hair pieces, like spooky fucking.
right. But at least that's spooky.
But now there's like
20
a
of them?
dozen of them
Yeah.
or more,
Right.
20 of them, and you're like,
Right.
it's just like this little knick-knackety bullshit.
It becomes a swap meet.
Yeah.
And that
I'm
shit
like,
bugs the hell out of me. And we were wedged in between 2 of them, and 3 of them. And they were all nice people, but man, the
I
people
gotta
next
tell
to
you-
us, they had their friggin' 3 children. One of them was like a newborn.
There are some people like that are down in San Diego Comic-Con that have been there for 20 and 30 and 40 years selling the same bullshit like that, and you're like, how do you do it?
Yeah.
Right.
Like, you're spending some serious coin
Well,
to
look
be here.
Look what happened to Mile High Comics. They finally
and did
backed
you
out.
see how much they spent to do Comic-Con?
$18,000.
That's
for their booth.
crazy, man.
What?
$18,000, man.
How many booths did they
And
have?
they've been doing it for
Was it 6 booths or something?
No,
they've
it
been
was more
doing
than
it
that.
for 40 years, dude.
And he just basically is like, I mean, he had some complaints, but I mean, look, having dealt with enough cons at this point to basically have the complaint like my shit wasn't delivered by the IATSE guys or the union guys, it's like those delivery guys, sometimes they're great depending on the house you're in. The people in Vegas, super nice.
Phenomenal.
Fucking as helpful could possibly be, the guys that were there. WonderCon in Anaheim, the complete opposite every year
Right.
we go. They're basically like, you can't go up here. Well, it's time to load. Yeah, we're closed. We got us closed for a half an hour. Yeah, it's too bad. Or like, don't park here. Yeah, you got to move this car in less than 6 minutes. You're like, what? Like, we literally just fucking pulled in here and you're up my ass,
Right.
Ontario was weirdly the same way. The
Yeah.
Ontario Convention Center. The Vegas one, I like wanted to give the guy a hug afterwards because he told us sort of like, oh, go over here. You can park for free right over there. Don't worry about it. Do this, do that. Our guys will take it over for you. Thank you. My name's I think it was Bill. Have a good day. I was like, dude, I love you. Like, you were my new hero.
And you know what's crazy too is it was like I said in that article, 40 years.
Yeah.
To go ahead and drop after 40 years, man. He said, man, we've been there for the good, and we have been there for the bad.
Yeah.
And it's like, God damn, man.
But I mean, he's not wrong about the statements he made about San Diego, and it's a different world there. I would say at a con, he would do fine at like a Vegas con or something like that. Although we discovered, like the row we were on, dude, like we're the land of the hard sell. And we're out there pushing. And we were watching all the booths across from us that were all comic book booths, and they were not. And it was just like
they're just there.
They kind of were. And
Yeah.
you get like one
I've seen
person every half hour would
man.
sort of walk up.
Yeah.
One guy was giving away swag like it was going out of style.
Yeah, nobody
I'm-
buying books. But
I'm
he was
like,
giving
nobody's
shit
buying
away.
your shit, but you're giving shit away. And I'm like, I get it. I get like you're all trying to be like, like passive sales, but like it's just not happening. Like this is a different world now,
Yeah.
We had some dude across the way who was selling artwork and related shit. And at one point, like, he kept putting shit on the table. You couldn't even see him behind all of the shit on his table.
E.T., the moment where E.T.'s in the closet with all the stuffed animals?
Yeah.
That was his table.
Yeah.
but
Maximizing that
Holy
that space,
shit.
man.
But this dude packed up on the middle of
Right.
Saturday, the
Right.
second day. It was
like,
like,
wow.
fuck it, I'm out of here.
Well, it was a hard couple of days, those first 2 days. It wasn't until
Saturday afternoon.
partway through Saturday that it was like people were in Vegas and they fucking blew all their money on Friday night,
Yeah.
or Thursday night, and
Right.
they weren't. Here's the difference. To me, I equate it with Ontario. Ontario was the type of con where 50% of the people have never been to a convention.
Right.
The difference is in Ontario, they're like, "Oh, that's cool. I'll buy one of those."
Right.
In Vegas, they're like, "Oh, that's cool. All right, well, I don't have any money, but that is cool."
Yeah.
And that was like the theme for 2 days.
Right.
Like, "Oh, I don't have any more money, but that is cool. I thank you for sharing it with me."
I love books.
I love books. Books are good.
Well, as a veteran convention goer, I we've talked about this in the past. If it's not some kind of like exclusive thing, if it's some crap that I can get any day of the week, or if I can just pull it up online,
Yeah.
I'm walking on it, man.
Right. Right.
Now, if you're, and that's including comics. That's one thing when you're independent. Like I might not see you around or something, but for some of the bigger lines, like I'm looking for some alternate covers,
Right.
Stuff like that. I'm looking for an exclusive, and I want a good exclusive.
I'm with you.
I don't want crap exclusive, like Hasbro. Same shit, different box. Don't buy that crap. But it's hard,
Well, and you know what? Here's the thing. At the end of the weekend, we had a great weekend. Everything went well, except for if you ever get the opportunity to stay at the Mardi Gras Hotel right next to the convention center, don't.
Okay.
It's yeah. I booked it online.
I don't think I've
Don't. I'm telling you, don't. I was like, I wanted a place that was within walking distance to the convention center.
It was.
And it was. And
Yeah.
then it didn't charge us to park. And
It didn't really live up to its name of Mardi Gras.
no, it was, I think literally there were 4 people that worked at this hotel.
Oh, really?
Because when we called and we're like, can we get an extra blanket and pillow? And they're like, we do not have anyone to bring that to you. I'm sorry. They're like,
Really?
you will have to walk down here to the front and get it.
Did it even have a casino?
Yes.
Did they?
Kind of. There was, I think, maybe like 20 slot machines. And
Wow.
yeah, and this was online on like hotels.com, like a 3.8 on the hotel rating. Oh, that's almost a 4. Like that's, that's like, I've seen some really good places with all like a rating slightly higher than that, and I was like, never again. Like this was, I literally apologized to Chris the whole time. I'm like, if were it not for the fact that we basically got these rooms for free, I would have been livid at the experience that we had there. So, but yeah. So if you ever get a chance, don't stay at the Mardi Gras Hotel in Las Vegas next to the convention center.
Well, I've seen a lot of conventions start to pop up now. Like they're doing Palm Springs again next month.
We'll be there. Yeah.
And I'm like, how long are these things gonna?
I think that we've
hang in there,
but we've talked about this as well. It's like, even though, like, yes, it's like another convention center in Palm Springs, it's a completely different marketplace.
Yeah,
like
it's true.
It's almost like Ontario was. Like, dude, the Ontario convention up here was fucking packed. Yeah. And not only was it packed, everybody was super excited to be there. And it was
here's a normal con. It's like somebody makes eye contact and we jump on them. Come on over. You make eye contact. You're coming to the table. Ontario, they walking by like, oh, what do you guys have? And they come right up to you and like, hey, tell me about your book.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the difference.
Vegas was like, I love books.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Awesome.
So anyways, let's segue out of that. We got to talk, dude. We got so much to talk about. Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones is back, you guys.
Yes.
It is.
So
winter is here.
Winter is here, and season 7 had a great opener. Although on my second rewatch of it, I rewatched it early this morning after I got back from the gym. It was not as exciting as I wanted it to be.
Well, no.
It was definitely like a season opener, like previously on Game of Thrones, and this is where everybody is now. But they definitely laid some groundwork. So let's just start at the beginning real quick. What'd you guys think of that Arya Walder Frey opening scene?
I loved it. For a split second there, I was like, are we doing like a flashback? Actually, first thing I thought was, that's awesome. We didn't do that long drawn out fucking opening, which is great from time to time. But after a while, I'm like, okay, I know you guys dig your little model buildings as you build them up.
Do we need a minute and 10 every episode of the model buildings?
It is a full minute and 10, isn't it?
So it's like, so it was awesome to just jump right in.
Right.
But then I was like, are we doing a fucking flashback already? And then I was like, wait a minute.
So did they never do the credits?
What do you mean? No, it happened after that. It was a cold opening.
Okay, I thought so. I was losing my mind for a second.
Right, it happened right after that.
So I mean, out the gate, because dude, that was one story. I was like, where in the hell is this going?
Right.
Are we gonna do something with this? Finally, we are. Right, which is awesome.
I was so tired of the girl that has no name.
I gotta agree with you, Chris. I was really so tired of that. It was running its course with me, big time. Man.
Yeah, they definitely didn't. I mean, going back and because being on the road, I had nothing to do but basically watch TV, go to the gym, or drink beer. And that's not necessarily in that order. But the idea was I rewatched all of Game of Thrones because there's only 60 episodes, so it was like less than 55 hours of TV over 24 days. Which is when you're in a hotel room by yourself twiddling your thumbs. There's not a lot. I can watch that or fucking people build pools like we ended up watching for. Jesus Christ! So there's this fucking reality show where these people build fish tanks for people. Yeah. It's the dumbest goddamn thing I've ever seen.
I don't get it.
And Chris was like, "This is great. Let's watch it." And I'm all, "Well, we don't have anything to do for an hour, so okay."
Tell me you're not hooked.
It was so bad. It was so bad. It was like iZombie level of bad. Like, that's how painful it was.
But it was so good to watch.
All of these fucking shows, man. It's like, how do you get like, okay, maybe you could stretch out a season, right? But then after that, you're like, what are we gonna do this time? Build a fish tank? Like, fuck. Like, I don't get any of them.
Yeah, but here's the thing: is with that show, they're tied in with all these like super rich people,
and they're always like,
and shit.
Man, are we gonna finish the tank? I don't know. I don't know, dude.
Right.
You know, the fucking the drama continues.
I would love to have a gif of you doing that face right there. Steve's eyes come alive. It's like, I don't know. Are we going to finish? I don't know.
These shows are fucking mind-numbing.
Yeah, so anyways, like that's, good times. I don't even know.
Good shit.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's terrible. So, but anyways, going back and rewatching, they fucking really dropped the ball on most of that storyline with the Faceless Men from the books. Like, it was so interesting in the books, and then on the show, like, it's just not. And then it's like we wasted valuable, like in the rewatch, I'm like, we're wasting valuable times watching a play
Right.
Like, I'm literally watching a play of a TV show that I watched. Like,
Where's this going?
yeah,
You know?
right. It just, yeah. So, but like that moment when they all are fucking choking up the blood,
Right.
and she like reaches down and pulls the
Oh, I knew. As soon as they all stood,
Right.
I was like, "Oh, you're all dead."
Yeah.
I was like,
and I just love her. She's like, when she just like tell them, for winter has come for the phrase, and the North remembers. I'm like, yeah, woo!
Yeah.
Like it was like I almost wanted to like spike my Gatorade at that point and just like run around in a touchdown dance because it was like so cathartic,
Mm-hmm.
So
Not quite as cathartic as the Battle of the Bastards was.
do that.
Such a great episode.
Going back and rewatching like all the series, the fucking Battle of the Bastards, but still Hard Home, dude. Hard Home, like the last half hour when the fucking zombies are coming through the wall and the White Walkers, like, dude, I still held my breath, like because I'm like, this is so intense. And I remember the first time I watched it, I got home from being out of town at like 3 a.m, and because Game of Thrones will not be spoiled for me, and I turned it on, and it was like 3 a.m, holding my breath, watching zombies run through that goddamn, fortress.
Yeah.
Like that episode still to this day, I'm like, fucking great, dude. Brilliant. But this episode, I think the one thing that bugged me, I don't even know that I needed the 7-minute montage of Daenerys coming to Dragonstone, of like them walking up.
Oh, right,
It
the
was
end.
like, it was
I gotta admit, for being like an abandoned castle, it's
pretty not
good shape.
very well kept.
Yeah.
right.
You know, it was a little dusty,
And okay,
A little.
Also,
but not much.
Stannis leaves, like he didn't leave like house help or anything to like maintain the place while they're gone.
Nobody
They're
did.
like, it's just fuck it. It's a castle. Nobody's gonna touch it. They know better. Like, really? It seems weird.
Yeah, it was a little strange.
Even like when the Starks left Winterfell, they left like the servants behind to
Right.
like sweep and shit and
Yeah.
make fires.
It's funny because we've seen all of the 7 kingdoms, and I tell you, man, the North fucking hosed. They ain't got shit.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, compared to like the Iron Islands and just all these other kingdoms, you're just like, wow, dude, these are pretty cool. You guys have like
Dorne.
your fort.
Yeah.
Oh, look at you cut some logs. You know,
Right.
Don't try or nothing.
Can we have a real quick discussion about Euron at the end of last season when he's like, make me 1,000 ships and I will like da 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 da. I'm like, don't y'all live on islands that don't have no trees?
Right.
Like how where did all this wood come from that you guys have like manufactured all these ships? And then you're all on like shitty islands. So where are you building all these ships at as well?
Yeah.
So-
but he was pretty awesome in the court
Yeah, man.
of the queen there. I was like, okay, I'm fucking feeling this guy right
Dude,
now,
the
dude.
little jabs at Jamie were so good.
Yeah.
Well, and then I like how immediately it was like these two were definitely gonna be
The whole
adversarial.
both hands thing,
Right,
you know.
So many
Wow.
little jabs.
And he's likable in the books too, so I'm glad they finally brought him back around. And I think we have like one final book spoiler about like that I won't give now, but essentially like what he's going to get, So he's going out into the world to find something that's gonna be interesting if they go that route. But yeah, this war that's gonna happen, like we kind of already seen a little bit of it, I guess, in the previews, like for the season. The dragons flying in,
Right.
the Lannister armies and such. I mean, how long do you think we're gonna have to wait for this fight? Like,
Oh man, they're gonna stretch this shit out.
they got
Come on.
12 episodes left. That's it. We're down to 12.
Yeah.
Like you've got so much to fucking take care of in 12 episodes. Like,
So are they doing 6 and 6?
it's 7 and 6. So we did 1 already this season. We got
Okay.
6 more left, and then 6 after that. Like we spent a lot of time with sort of the Hound this episode, like watching him realize that when he stole that dude's money back from
Holy
season 3,
shit.
that little old man was gonna die, him and his fucking daughter.
Right.
Can we talk about fucking Ed Sheeran? Why the fuck was Ed Sheeran singing in Game of Thrones?
Okay, listen, man, you fucking lost me.
First off,
Okay.
I know who Ed Sheeran is, but I don't understand why everybody is up in arms about this.
Why the fuck is
I
he
don't-
there?
I don't give a shit.
Like it made, and he didn't look like he was one of the dudes. He was like Ed Sheeran with his little wispy hair, and all clean. It's like, motherfucker, you're a soldier, like living out in the jungles or the forests.
I will say that the Lannister soldiers are a different, like they've got the nice, interesting cross section. They got like Ed Sheeran, the pretty guy.
Right.
They got sort of the rough and tumble bearded guy, the cross-eyed kid over here on the side, the obvious virgin next to him. Like,
Right.
It's like the Lannister army's
It's from a band.
I think he's an English
He's
pop
a
star.
singer. He's a pop star.
I don't know what.
It's the equivalent of putting the fucking guy from what is it, One Direction or whatever.
So did he act bad?
No.
Okay, then it doesn't matter then.
No, it does
doesn't
matter.
It doesn't matter.
It does
Oh.
matter because
It pulled you
Yeah.
out of
it
it.
pulled me out of the story, and I'm
so
like,
wait, if Justin Timberlake showed up, would that bother you?
fucking A, it would bother me.
But isn't he an actor?
A fine actor at that.
Yeah, right.
Come on.
You know.
This show prides itself on not
I mean, let's
that.
be honest. Dude, Mark Wahlberg used to be called Marky Mark.
This is true.
Right.
You know,
And he think of the quality movies he's made.
The
like
Departed?
The Happening.
It was
okay, I'll
just-
give you The Departed.
It was just
fucking
cheap,
dude.
He's
you
pretty
know.
dope in The Departed.
He's
so.
had some good movies. Not all of them, but like, listen, man. I mean, to me, that's like saying, somebody does some stupid sitcom can't go on to make serious movies. Like, I don't know.
It wasn't like he wasn't a part of the narrative. He was just a dude that showed up because he was singing a song as she walks up.
You shouldn't really know that much about fucking shitty British pop bands to be
Okay, I mean,
fuck.
I have
dude.
3 daughters, dude.
I have a daughter too. Doesn't mean I have
You
to watch
don't have a
fucking-
daughter. You
I don't
have a
to
hard-edged daughter.
I don't have to watch lame ass shit. You know,
I've got mainstream daughters.
like fuck it.
You've got fringe
what,
daughter.
What band is this guy in?
He's not. He's just
a
his
pop
own
star.
like pop star.
Oh, he's just a singer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh fucking Christ, man! Could have been a fucking American fucking Idol for all I.
Look,
give a
I
shit.
didn't-
I like the scene.
Yeah.
You know, whatever.
Well, and I liked it that she took a moment there. That Ari took a moment right there because she was going to kill those guys.
I did see a meme
Right.
that Martin Lawrence was going to be in the next.
Oh
episode.
Jesus, that's about the level of stupid that this was for me.
Really? Like
It was so dumb.
But Martin Lawrence is wearing a basketball jersey in it, so I was just
okay.
like,
Is it-
I was really thrown off.
First
It's a
night.
picture of him from Black Knight.
It really
Black
took
Knight.
me. It really took me out of the moment. I was like, "This motherfucker's wearing a fucking Lakers jersey."
Honestly,
that would make my day. Ice Cube showed up in his Lakers jersey with his
Right.
AK-47.
Right.
Yes.
I would
Ride
not
out
have
a motherfucking
cared.
dragon.
I would not have cared as much if he hadn't sang.
Why? He's got a nice voice.
Of course, he's got a nice voice,
I mean,
but
I
it's
don't want somebody who
bullshit.
can't
They
fucking
put him in
sing.
there. He's a pop
Singing.
singer.
Look, it didn't affect me because
It did.
I'm not. No, it didn't because I don't care. I actually really liked that scene because I like.
I was like, "You motherfuckers are lucky right now."
Yeah,
that's
right?
all I kept thinking
Right.
is that you're all lucky you're even fucking alive right now. This little psycho chick would kill your fucking ass.
And I just love when he's like, "What are you heading south for?" And she's like, "I'm going to kill the queen." And they were all.
They all paused and then they started laughing. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
great. You know,
It's a great
It's
moment.
fucking cool. You know.
No, it's a great scene. I think it was unfortunate.
And you know,
they didn't
what-
need to do it. It was stupid.
It was to me. It was also one of those things too, where it's like, you know, with a little bit less discipline, she would have killed all of them.
Yeah.
But to me, it was almost for a second was like, listen, we're thrown in these armies, and we don't really have much of a choice. We don't have much of a fucking life.
Right, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, if we don't join,
We're gonna be dead.
they're gonna kick us off our fucking land.
Right.
They're gonna fucking kill us. You know, whatever. So it's like, yeah, we've seen these guys portrayed as real assholes in the past, but these are just like they're just dudes, man. You know,
they're not like the dudes when she got captured by Sandor Clegane and those guys.
Right. These guys
that
are
were
like
all torturing
those
him.
are like professional scumbags.
Yeah.
Like this is what we do is skin people and shit like that.
Yeah, these
And,
guys were
yeah.
just dudes.
Yeah,
you know?
we're just like, yeah, you know, fucking. They're like, you know, we probably won't even see our families again.
Yeah,
you know?
no shit, right?
Fuck.
And then we got the world's longest fucking beat by beat cleaning of shit pans that I've ever.
Holy hell! That was the name of the episode.
Were shit
Runny
pans?
shit.
I thought it was like I thought they were remaking Nacho Libre with Samuel Tarly there.
It was,
so-
yeah, it was pretty raw. I was like, was that shit? Was
Yeah.
that stew? I don't even know anymore. Are you guys shitting and eating out of the same fucking things now? Oh God.
But I did like the moment where Jorah in the cell with his fucking grayscale
Right.
Yeah.
scared the shit out of Sam. Although so this grayscale is supposed to be like highly infectious, right?
Yeah.
So like one, why is he there? Did he go there to try to get healed? Like, what's the deal?
It almost felt like it was not only a library, but some sort of a sanitarium type thing.
Maybe like where you would send lepers or something
Yeah,
like that.
you know,
But with
but they're studying too.
yeah, but with Grayscale, it's like he's like
Because remember, they're weighing the hearts and shit and the
yeah.
liver, so they're doing more than just reading books. This is, you know,
It's like college.
it's probably the center of science in that
Right.
world.
well, and then
know.
we've got some.
I'm not a reader of the book, so it's,
not
you
either.
know.
Well, but there's not any really thing like about the cure for that. The only person that's ever been cured that we see in the books or the show
Was the little girl,
It was
princess.
Shirin. Yeah, it was.
Stannis' daughter.
Right, which a lot of the speculation now is essentially that the cure for that is going to be dragon stone.
Dragon glass?
The dragon glass, yeah.
Ah.
So essentially, like dragon glass also has healing power, which is how she ended up getting healed. So he'll be able to find a way to, be healed essentially.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
we'll see. I mean,
He's been there for a while because that
That's-
chick's baby's gotten pretty big.
well, yeah, little fat blonde baby over there.
Yeah.
So, but his skin was like falling off.
I
his
liked
fucking
how the
arms.
another little cameo was the Grand Magistrate was what's his name from Harry Potter.
He
movies.
was.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
It's
was
another
nice,
Harry
dude.
Oh,
Potter.
you're talking about Jim Broadbent?
Yeah,
Another-
that was a nice moment there.
Yeah, because he's the second Harry Potter person to be in.
No, he's like the third, I think.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but
Because I know what's his name.
Walter Frey was.
Frey was
Right.
from he was the
and
fucking
then we had
groundskeeper,
one of the.
maintenance guy.
Yeah, but then there was somebody else that was a Harry Potter.
A lot of these characters too. A lot of these actors who are in Game of Thrones actually do have done episodes of Doctor Who as well.
Well, yeah.
You've caught that.
We need to get to Doctor Who.
Doctor Who, yeah.
But last thoughts on the Game of Thrones. So like, I'm once again, it was like rewatching the episode. Not a lot happened in this episode. Realistically, you sort of like reinforcing Jon. Although fucking Lady Mormont is like my
Still.
new favorite character.
Still.
Like she bitch
Awesome.
slaps. She stands up. She's like, "Don't tell me who I can do. Like you shut up, pussy."
Right. Yeah, it's pretty badass. I
Like Bear
that.
Island came and you were bitched out on the side.
Right.
And then, but other than, I mean, come on, with Brienne and Tormund, like I could just
Again
watch a
with
show
that,
of
right?
Tormund making looks at Brienne for an hour and be fucking entertained.
I love him, dude. He is that beard alone is an idol of mine.
Oh,
Now, I didn't realize
he's
he
so
was
great.
in that Fast and the Furious movie that just came out.
Oh, it was so bad.
I wouldn't know.
I'm going
don't-
to tell you, I only know because someone at my house was watching it before she turned it off.
It was-
because it was unwatchable.
Dude, Elaine and I admittedly love those movies, like to a point, and the last two have been terrible.
Yeah,
and this one,
Oh,
it's like
yeah.
bad James Bond now.
Yeah,
And then none of it makes a
not-
fucking lick. These are like street racers.
Yeah.
And this one guy, because he can build a carburetor, can now hack like the most highly fucking built
That's just
animal.
dumb,
But
dude.
he's a mechanic. Like I get he's smart, but now he's a hacker. Yeah, they're just terrible.
Stupid. No, I
And
just
then-
can't get with him. Never could.
Dude, I went
From the
to
beginning, I was like,
no.
I'm just, yeah, but I'm also not a fucking car guy,
Right.
So you're losing me there,
Right.
And then like, the action crap, I don't know, it only goes so far.
Oh, you think this is bad? Go to Universal Studios and do the tour. There's a whole Fast and Furious section of the ride.
Yes.
Holy shit. You think the acting is terrible
I know some
in the
people.
movies.
I know some people who are fucking really into it too. I'm just like, I
Oh,
just
it's
don't
so
get it.
dumb.
Like
The
I'm
first
not a
six, I'm
fan.
like,
I'm
in.
not a fan of what's her name, Rodriguez.
Michelle
Rodriguez.
I'm just not a fan of her. In every movie she tries to play that same.
She's exactly the same.
She's an angry Latina.
She's still playing Girl Fight from
I'm just not with it,
right.
man.
like
Just-
20 years ago.
Yeah.
Dude, she's still in Girl Fight every time I see her. So yeah. But that movie, oh dude, it was so bad.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like, I can give away like the physics and everything, but there's a fucking moment in this movie where they hack into all of the cars' electronic systems. And so basically, like, they are able to control all of these sort of, like, the idea is like, oh, they're self-driving cars, which I could buy that, right?
I can't.
Well,
Not
wait,
yet,
wait.
anyways.
Wait.
but
I could
soon.
buy like if like a Tesla or like a Mercedes or something that has this feature, you hack
Yeah.
into it. In the scene, I shit you not, there's like a gremlin that they're controlling.
my '89 Bronco.
Yes, and I'm like, wait a minute. That first off, that car barely has like a Commodore 2E in it. Like you're not
Right.
gonna fucking hack into it. Like yeah, it just
Speaking of which, do we have a guest coming on the show?
why?
Because I saw OJ parked his car out front. Or is it Al Cowlings?
I gave Steve a chance at the beginning with like what you've been up to because I wanted him to talk about the Bronco.
My fucking Bronchosaurus, dude.
Dude, that thing's dope.
I love it, man.
So what'd you buy, Steve? Tell our listeners real quick.
I bought an '89 Bronco.
White Bronco.
Well, it's yellow, so it looks kind of like fucking lemon meringue pie right now.
Okay.
I mean, we're gonna fix that, but yeah, I mean, it's powered by fucking spotted owls and Delta smelts. I blend them up in the morning and I pour them right into the fucking gas tank. I love it. I fucking every time I turn that key over, dude, I swear to God, it goes and my dick goes shoots right up.
I love that Steve's like, I'm not really a car guy. I'm not really a car guy, but goddamn that motor gives me a hard
something to because my boys are gonna have crap to throw in my car.
Nice, dude.
And the Scion just wasn't cutting it anymore.
I'm sad.
Well, the morning I was locked in my car in front of the gym, I knew that we had a problem. Apparently, the Fast and the Furious hacked my fucking car, and I was not able to unlock the fucking doors. And I'm sitting there and like patiently just kind of lifting, like the button's not working, so I'm just grabbing the door lock by hand, trying to pull it up, and it's not coming up. And I'm just for about 10 or 15 minutes, I did this till finally it opened up because apparently the movie was over. And I was able to control my fucking car again. And I knew that was the beginning of the end.
You're
of
like,
the Scion.
The Scion's, it's had a good run.
It's got to go.
You're like me. I'm about, we're going to get rid of that car. I'll have a new car by the end of the year.
Well, you and I bought our cars,
Same time, man.
literally within
6
weeks.
months of each other.
Or
No, like 2 months of each other. Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, they've been good little fucking cars this whole time.
How many miles did you have on yours?
At the end, I think about 155,000.
Oh, dude, I'm at like 196.
Yeah, I got a buddy the same year as ours. He told me over the weekend 250,000 miles.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, God damn.
And those
bro.
little cars, and it's the funny thing because I even read up on it because I'm like nerdy like that. And they were like, these cars literally will run forever. Like because they're so well made and they're so simple. And it's funny because I don't know about you, but like every time we take it into like a mechanic or to go, they always offer to buy it.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, are you gonna want to sell that? And I was like, no. And they're like, yeah, you're smart because these little cars run forever. You know?
When we were buying the wife's minivan, they were like, hey man, you want to trade that in? Like, we'll take that right now. You know, they wanted that. They're like, yeah, we could resell that fucking thing. Right. Know, so but yeah, so I got a Bronco, 89 Bronco. I mean, it's fucking not fuel efficient. You know, it's a V8 monster.
Yeah, but you're not driving that much.
No,
right?
dude. You know, I go from fucking home to the gym, from gym to work, and then home.
Yeah.
Target.
You still got the other car.
Yeah, you know, if we're going to go any distance, you know,
for sure.
we're doing that, you know.
So, all right, man. Well, Game of Thrones, we're all excited. See episode 2.
Yeah, great episode, man. Fuck, I can't wait till Sunday night.
Yeah, it's like the longest, like, it's funny because, like, part of me is super excited about Comic-Con tomorrow, but I'll be more excited on Sunday about watching more Game of Thrones. So let's talk about Doctor Who. So
Doctor Who.
We got our 13th Doctor announced just
New
recently.
I'm so excited.
Why?
Fuck that show. The show's stupid.
Chris doesn't watch Doctor Who at
Who's
all.
dumb, dude.
So I know, Steve, you've got some feelings on this.
They're still using plungers.
Well, they've got a new doctor, and come to find out, it is a female doctor.
Oh, my.
And there are a lot of people who've got a lot to say to this, and I've got something to say to them. Who fucking cares?
Right.
Did anybody watch Star Trek fucking Voyager? You know, it was on for 7 goddamn seasons, you know, from like 96 to 2001, you know, a woman at the helm of the fucking goddamn starship, you know, won 20 awards over the duration of its time. It's nothing new. We don't care. Did anybody see fucking the reimagination of Battlestar Galactica when they turned one of the star characters into a woman?
Into a woman.
And nobody cares. No. It doesn't matter. And to the few people who it does matter to, like, listen, they're such a fucking minority. Like, they're just on the internet being douchebags. Mm-hmm. Nobody gives a shit. Listen, stop whining. If the fucking story is good, the acting is good, the ratings will be there. This fucking show has been on for like what? 40
years?
Fucking years? Yeah. 13 doctors. It's had its highs, it's had its lows. It's went away for a little while. It's come back. You know, I mean, at one point it had a young doctor on there that all the women were loving, and then he's done. They thought the show was going to end.
And they brought somebody else in.
Fucking didn't end. And then they brought an older doctor in. And oh my God, it's gonna end. And guess what? It didn't fucking end. It's never gonna fucking end. It doesn't fucking matter.
It doesn't.
It really doesn't, dude.
And this actress, Jodie Whittaker is her name. She have you guys ever seen the movie Attack the Block?
Nope.
Oh, fucking great. It's like a little English independent
Lost
film.
me.
Yep. No, wait. So it's got the guy that plays Finn from Star Wars, John Boyega. And
He did something besides Star Wars?
Yes.
I swear to God, I thought they just got him fresh off the streets.
No, so it's this great little movie where essentially like it's all these kids in sort of like the rough area of London. They live in sort of like the ghetto, as it were,
Like
and
all
so
of
this,
London.
Yeah, so this not all of it, but a good section of it. So, but these basically like an alien crash lands in the middle of the fucking street. And these kids like essentially beat it up and like take this alien, and what ends up happening is there's like this alien invasion that happens in the middle of fucking London, and so it's like she's a part of it, and like all the kids in this neighborhood are basically fighting these alien creatures, and it's like and the alien design is really interesting. Like it's because it's done on a budget, so they do some really interesting stuff as far as like it's got sort of like a predator cloak to it, although not completely. You know, it's like, but it's dope, dude. And like these.
When
kids,
did this come out?
Probably like maybe 3 or 4 years ago.
Okay.
It's called Attack the Block. I think we actually talked about it on an episode a long time ago. So, but it's got Jodie Whittaker and John Boyega's in it, and a lot of and there's somebody else, Simon Pegg's in it. He plays the local drug dealer. Or not Simon Pegg, the other guy, the fat guy.
Fucking.
Why can't I
Eddie.
think of his name? The dude from he's in Hot Fuzz and all that. Right. But like, and it's funny because like people start dying, including the kids, and you're like, holy shit! Like this movie's like intense, you know. But
wow.
it's not like The Thing intense, but it's like, you know, it's like one of these movies where you're like, oh, this has stakes to it. Like anybody can go down, you know?
Oh, okay.
So, but it's a fun little sort of like horror movie. It's like slightly comedic, but you got to get through. It's got like heavy British accents, you know? It's like you're watching Snatch or Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels.
Snatch I was good with. It was Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels that I had a hard time with at first.
Yeah.
I had to watch it like 2 or 3 times and go, oh, okay, now I'm getting it.
Because it's thick and spots.
It is real thick.
Yeah.
You know?
And especially like Rock and Rolla has that problem as well.
Okay.
And, you know.
Right.
Speaking of that, did anybody see... and sorry, just real quick on the Doctor Who. I think I'm with Steve. I think this is Much Ado About Nothing.
Yeah,
I think
it's internet hype, like fucking always. Listen, it's nothing new. And you know, with the Doctor, like Chris does not like it. Listen, some people do not get it. Mm-hmm. For me personally, what I don't get about the show, I don't get when the goddamn scheduling is. Okay, like it's weird fucking timing for me, and they're like, "Oh, the premiere's on like Christmas Eve." Like, oh, you're definitely fucking foreign. Okay, here in America, we're fucking doing shit. Okay, on fucking Christmas Eve. Okay?
That's like all the fucking
sure as fuck
Sherlock Christmas specials every year.
Yeah, I just it's you got weird fucking timing for me. But you know, I've caught some episodes. My daughter's a big fan of it. I've caught some stuff, and I was like, oh, this is fucking pretty good. You know. I can't say that about all the episodes. Some of them are pretty smart. Listen, it's all about writing. I could say this about any fucking TV show.
I agree.
Well, definitely about the practical effects.
Oh,
no.
Or the digital effects.
But you know what? That's
effects are just not.
But you know what? To some people, that's what its charm is. You know?
Oh yeah,
and
it has to be.
Like, listen, I am a fan of fucking B movies, so it's like I love fucking. You know, pipe hands over fucking Hollywood type of shit.
Right.
You know, so some of the stuff you're like, okay, that's kind of fucking lame, and some of the stuff you're like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. It goes up and down. Like I think the Weeping Angels
are awesome,
fucking cool.
I'm with him on this one.
Great goddamn episodes, scary episodes.
And I still think, and I know you don't get the Daleks. I think they're because they're goofy trash can looking things
with plungers.
But they're like indestructible.
And
like that's what makes them
it's also
scary.
like this nostalgia thing that they have really hit with.
Yes.
And I mean, those things are super popular. And I tell you, if you get a hold of a fucking a Dalek fucking voice changer, you will fuck with it for 45 minutes. I did, you know. So, but
yeah. But Doctor Who, fuck, dude. There's still a lot to talk about here.
We got Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Everybody see that? I saw that.
Yeah,
finally.
let's talk
Yeah.
Wonder Woman real quick. I know we're late. We're like super late to the game on this one. But
I think we all were late seeing it too.
well, I remember.
No, I saw it the weekend it opened.
Did
Did
you?
you?
I think you were the only one.
The wife
Dude,
was.
it took me weeks.
I just
to get
saw
it
The
it
wife
on
was on the ball
last
with that one,
Tuesdays,
you know,
so.
because apparently all these girls liked Wonder Woman back in the day when they were calling me a fucking nerd for reading
Right.
comic books. Where were you, ladies? I don't remember when you were all so fucking hot about comics and shit in the fucking 1980s, in the fucking 90s, and I couldn't get any ass. But apparently you guys were all fucking reading Wonder Woman and shit. I
That's
missed
why
this.
they
I
were at
missed
home
this.
reading Wonder Woman.
You know, bullshit is what I'm calling.
Well, look, I was surprised because Elena fucking loved it. Like, I thought it was good. Like, I really
That's
did.
kind of where I'm
That's
at
cool.
too. It was
It was
good.
good. Like
it was cool.
I
I
was like,
liked it.
this was no worse than any of the Thor movies I've seen. It was like I got done with it. I'm all, this was a good movie. Like I enjoyed it.
I had one problem with it, and that was it was purely like a logistical type of thing.
Okay.
Other than that, I thought the acting was great. I thought the action was
What was
great.
your logistical thing? Because I'm curious if we have the same issue.
So, World War I has been raging.
Yes, for 4 years at this point.
Okay, so you're getting to the front line, no man's land, and there are still people in the village.
Yeah, I think that village would have been bombed out at this point.
Yeah, I mean, like, at what point did you say, you know, with the gas and all this type of shit, you're like, well, I'm just going to hang out here, you know, for a while, you know. Well,
There were a few things like that for me.
There
I
was
just,
well, also
this gigantic trench system is fucking forming around you. You're like, well, I'm going to wait.
Well, not only that, but
For
how
4
would,
years.
how would anybody on this side
That-
of No Man's Land know what's happening on that side of No Man's Land?
Right.
When she's like, they've taken prisoners, and I'm like, well, how the fuck do you know that?
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
did you cross or
Yeah,
like?
it was
the satellites.
that was, and like I said, it was just technical
And I get
crap.
that,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? Other than that, like I loved, you know, the story. I loved the acting. I thought even the bad guy. Who were we fighting? Hades.
Ares.
Ares in this one. Sorry, I'm mixing up my gods, my mythology. I can't keep it all straight sometimes. But yeah, man, I thought it was really cool, dude. You know, I thought the costume was really smart.
Yeah, man.
You know,
I was really impressed with sort of like the fact that it all came together in a pleasing way, because watching it, I'm like, dude, this could have fallen apart
Right.
in so many different ways.
Yeah.
And it was like the love, like sort of the love story angle wasn't like too heavy. You know, like
Yeah.
they earned it. Like I got to the end and I was like, oh, well, this feels earned. You know, and I'm enjoying this moment here, as opposed to like some of these movies. You're like, you get to the end of them and you're like, why are we forcing these two characters together?
and every time, you know, all these movies, I'm like, fucking Steve. I love this guy.
But like with this one, it's like you know, her little cadre of like multi-ethnical like I love that was like, oh, it's like Sala from Indiana
You know
Jones.
what? I dug that though,
Yeah.
because it was like, if anybody knows, I mean, it was World War,
which made it great.
and it was like you literally jumped on a fucking train.
Right.
Where you going? Fucking going to war. You know, I mean, that's the way it really went down.
But
You had your French Foreign Legion and all this kind of crap, bringing all these fucking weird, you know, colonies together and shit for
I thought
battle.
my only complaint, and this is sort of like my new complaint with the DC universe, is Jesus Christ, these movies, like color people, color. Everything doesn't need to be shades of blue. Like the whole movie is like blues and grays. I'm like,
I like that. I thought when they got there, the drabness, I thought it hit the mark. For
it's
me.
so, but it's like,
When we were back on the fucking on Pleasure Island,
Yeah.
and it was bright and everybody's
Yeah.
wearing white, and then Ron was feeling real fucking good,
Yeah.
and shit, and it's like, well, you know, then when you get out of the front line, it was, you know,
they just, yeah, but it's like, do you have these great action sequences that it's like I'm watching a fucking black and white silent film? So it's like at a certain point, I get it's the Zack Snyder look, and I was okay with it during 300, like sort of that everything, like all the colors pulled out of everything. It's all muted,
Right.
you know?
yeah, I love that.
Yeah, but it's like he did it in an effective way where it's like there was these splashes of colors that happened in like very specific spots and for reasons, you know? And then like this movie, it was like pretty much after we left, was it Themyscira or whatever, Themyscira or whatever they are at, it was like, oh, dear God. Like, I felt like I was in London the whole time. I'm like, it's so fucking dreary. Like, Jesus, is this like...
So they were capturing what it really looks like there.
I
And
guess,
Ron
man.
was disappointed.
I was.
He's like, I've been there. Right now, you remind me of fucking a Snatch. You know, England, fucking, shitty weather, even worse teeth.
Yeah.
Jolly good fucking England.
I will say this.
Oh, wait. I got one more complaint, and then you can go.
All right.
The Wonder Woman theme, the... I'm all... Really? That's the Wonder Woman theme we've decided to go with?
I didn't catch it.
It's that moment in
now.
Batman versus Superman where she comes in and there's like this guitar line that comes in and it's all and it's like,
did they do it in the Wonder Woman
they
movie
fucking
too?
did it in the Wonder Woman movie
Fuck,
too.
I have to go back and watch
And
it
it came
again,
and here's the
dude.
thing, like the rest of the score, it like fits and then it's all and then she's like running on the rooftops and like boo boo like blocking shit with their
It's
wristband.
crazy, fucking. Her aunt, the lady who was training her, that was Princess Buttercup.
It
from
was,
fucking
dude.
Princess Bride, man. I
Yeah,
was like,
man.
holy shit,
It's
man.
Jenny.
Where the fuck has she been this whole time, right?
Still, she's on
House of Cards, dude.
House of Cards.
Yeah.
Oh no shit.
Yeah.
She's
I hear
still
that's a
working,
great
man.
show. I have not
The
watched.
first
any of it
season's
yet.
great.
Yeah,
Like the first season's fantastic.
I listened to Joe Rogan
Yeah.
podcast, and he fucking rants about the fucking show like nonstop.
It's a
so.
great show. Like the first season is fucking unbelievably watchable, and then like it kind of like I don't know that it like loses its magic. It's just not as like it's not as interesting.
Uh-huh.
It's still good, but it's like not as good. You're like that first season was like fucking great, and then the second season was pretty good. Like it was still pretty almost great, and then it's like from there it just sort of like it's been like a slow wind down. You're like it's almost time to wrap this show up. Like I'm almost ready to be done. All right, go ahead.
Oh, you remembered I had
yes,
something.
you had a point.
Here's
Okay, just
my
one more
point.
thing. Go ahead.
I usually just kind of roll with it. Okay, whatever. Because what you say is probably something like that. No, I will say I really enjoyed the movie when I was there. I remember almost nothing from it.
Really?
Yeah, it did not stick with me. And as much as it was enjoyable, I remember I liked it, but it's gone. And for me, it's fallen into every single superhero movie, There was one thing I remember, I don't know what it was at this point because I can't remember anything about it. But there was one point I'm like, that's fucking stupid. But I don't know what it is. Got to watch it again.
There's
like Homeboy taking off in the plane and not having a parachute or something. I don't know what it was, but it was like that's how it goes down. Okay, she
mean
couldn't
like when
take
he-
the fucking plane, and
No, she's Wonder Woman.
yeah, I mean,
That's
there
his
was
job.
just,
His job is to be the one that gets blown up.
yeah. I mean,
making the sacrifice.
yeah, it just seemed unnecessary.
There is definitely a script that they follow
right.
for all these movies, and
Right.
it makes it successful. I mean, they are summer movies. I mean, we're not
Right.
we're not reviewing.
It's not Logan for sure.
Yeah, Logan was definitely a cut above. I mean, but they're doing something risky
Right.
with the Logan movie. They're doing something risky with the Deadpool movies.
Right.
Okay, DC has had a very bad fucking track record lately.
I
and
would
they
argue-
don't need to make something that's out of the realm. They need to make
Right.
something fucking successful.
Well, because they
need-
haven't made anything in the realm yet. Like all their movies have sort of been tanking.
Yeah.
and they
Right.
needed this to be good.
you know, so it's like, let's not get fucking too crazy,
Right.
but let's make a movie that people are gonna dig. And
Well, it was also the first time in any of these rebooted movies that any of their heroes felt fucking heroic. Like
Right.
Superman's like the hero that doesn't want to be a hero, like the whole fucking movie.
Right.
And then Batman Superman was this like total deconstruction of hero or like superhero mythos,
Yeah.
where in like really like down to bare bones, with but at least their both moms were both named Martha. We had that going for us.
You know,
and then
parallels.
Suicide Squad was supposed to be all these anti-heroes that weren't bad guys, didn't do anything that a bad guy would actually do, which fucking still drives me nuts. I'm like, you're the bad guys. Do fucking bad guy stuff.
bad guys with you want to talk about a unmemorable fucking bad guy that they had to
Right.
go up against.
Like a
And
bunch of villains fighting against a terrible villain.
We talked
you know?
about like the henchmen were atrocious. You know, they sold us on cool costumes and a snappy fucking soundtrack.
But you know what? The all of the art design in that movie is fantastic. Like everybody looks great. Like the whole movie looks great.
Yeah.
And then have you tried to rewatch it since you saw it?
I have not.
I
have.
can't. I
Yeah.
couldn't. Like
Yeah.
I even the extended.
It's got
version.
some moments.
Did you see the extended stuff with all the extra Joker stuff?
No.
No, I haven't seen that
It just
yet.
wasn't any better.
Like just who cares?
I just don't give it, and
Yeah.
it's exactly that. Like I don't give a fuck about this. And at the end of the day, you dropped the ball. The Joker should have been the bad guy the
Yes.
entire time.
I get more from the animated movies that they make. dude.
yeah, like and they're
If-
really good.
If they would have had made those fucking animated movies, I'd be interested.
Dude, The Dark Knight
It'd
Returns.
probably be a little
I
bit
could-
too dark for you.
No, fuck no.
You
dude.
know?
Dark Knight Returns, the animated Dark Knight Returns. I watch that constantly. Dude.
So good,
I
man.
fucking love it,
Yeah.
and I love the fight in the pit.
Uh-huh.
And then I love the Joker running through the
The Funhouse.
oh, dude, and like just
shooting
shooting
people and
people.
shit?
Oh,
Yeah.
so good every
Yeah.
time.
Now, how bad did Marvel drop the ball by not releasing a female-led superhero film?
Yeah, but they have time. They have nothing but time.
They don't have time. I'm telling you, this shit is gonna wind down.
No,
it's
No.
gonna wind down.
It
They're
hasn't
talking
done
about
yet.
they're talking about Phase 4. That shit's gonna fucking die in the middle.
Okay, if you think so.
I'm telling you, I've been saying it for 2 years. The bottom's gonna drop out.
But it hasn't yet. Like
It
that's the
hasn't
thing.
yet
Let me tell you,
because you have Deadpool and Logan and Wonder Woman.
they just
Guardians
spun,
of the Galaxy.
They just spun fucking what was D23 was this last weekend.
The
They
Avengers.
just dropped the what was it, the fucking not the Avengers, not the Guardians.
Inhumans.
Yeah, I think it was Inhumans.
Inhumans, yeah, the trailer
dude.
for that.
Fuck, people are going nuts already,
Dude,
dude.
eh.
And they only showed it to D23. It's not out anywhere else.
Right.
It's not out on fucking
That
YouTube
Avengers,
and shit.
but
I'm
that
sure it'll come out
Avengers
this weekend.
trailer as well, like that they showed there, like people went nuts for it, and they're like literally, it's like you haven't reached saturation yet.
2 years.
It still hasn't happened, dude.
I give it 2 years.
And the DC ones, like you're finding all of these characters that people love, like Steve said, all these women that grew up loving Wonder Woman, you know, and we're gonna get a fucking cool Aquaman movie. Like I want to see Jason Momoa as Aquaman, and
Yeah.
those are words that I never thought I would speak in my life. Like I want to see an Aquaman.
I gotta
movie.
admit, dude, the dude has sold me on fucking Aquaman,
Right?
dude. You know, you're just like, this fucking guy.
they're gonna ruin it, dude.
This guy's
They're gonna
making
ruin that movie.
fucking. I'm like, am I having a fucking bromance with this guy?
Right.
Am I having a fucking gay moment with this dude right now?
You're
Holy
like
shit, man.
he seems fun and
It's gonna
festive.
Be, it's
and
gonna be shit, dude. I'm telling you,
You're so bitter.
it's gonna be Aquaman.
I love how
The
bitter
only
you are.
way that won't be a disaster is if they do something really, really good with the writing.
You know,
That's the only way it's not gonna
I'm
suck.
I'm still sitting here thinking to myself, like, okay, Chris is calling for a female-led Marvel movie, and I'm thinking, like, what? Like who?
You're gonna get
You get Captain Marvel.
You're gonna get
coming.
Captain Marvel. Like
You
that'll
should
be
have
the
put
next
out the
one.
Black Widow movie as a spy film 2 years ago.
But you can't do a good spy film.
You know-
I guess. But you're already doing Captain
Wait,
America. She's
fuck. You got Atomic Blonde coming out this weekend.
Exactly.
That looks
You
dope.
had Lucy,
It does look-
Wonder Woman, Atomic
Listen,
Blonde.
It does look
they dropped the
fucking-
ball.
It does look fucking cool.
but a PG-13 good
This,
spy movie.
yeah, let me
Yes.
tell you, dude, they would not sell fucking Black Widow as a fucking rated R character.
No, no.
And Atomic
Which it needs to
Blonde
be.
is a 100% fucking rated R movie.
I still think they
There's
can pull
a
it off.
smoking hot lesbian scene I can't wait to fucking see. All right, it's gonna be
It looked pretty
awesome, dude.
That movie looks dope.
It looks
Yeah.
fucking great, man. You know, I'm all about it, dude.
Did you see? I know Chris has. Have you seen Baby Driver yet?
I
haven't seen
haven't.
that
You know
shit.
what? A very good friend of ours just said this movie is amazing.
Yeah,
and
dude.
him and I really see eye to eye
Really?
on a lot of movies, so I got to check this
You
out.
saw it?
Yes.
It's that good.
Oh, I thought you saw it.
No.
Oh, it's fucking
I
phenomenal.
hear it's
dude.
fucking great.
I haven't been able to get
my
past
good
the
friend
title.
Gordner
Oh, yeah.
fucking's like, and him and I, man, we see really eye to eye on a lot
The
of
first
stuff,
6 minutes are online.
so. Okay.
Go home and watch it. Or go to the internets right now and fucking load it up. And
Well, this
watch
weekend,
it,
like,
and that will convince you.
I get big plans. Like Saturday night, dude, gonna go see Dunkirk. I've been waiting for this movie for
that
a
looks
long
dope, dude.
fucking time, dude. Long fucking time. So I'm really excited.
I'm gonna wait
about
for
that.
reviews on that one.
I also fucking
It's
hear from you.
100% on Rotten Tomatoes right now. So,
fucking
Really?
Yeah.
Valerian,
Oh, I'm so excited about
dude.
that.
Listen, you got me at the director of The Fifth Element. You got me there,
Right.
Okay, because I am a huge fan of that movie. I saw it in the theater, and I fucking fell in love with that. So I'm like, dude, if you even get a fraction of that magic in this, and I'll tell you the scenes I've seen, and you guys, I have gone on about the CGI thing. This movie looks beautiful,
Right? Like, doesn't
the
it
alien
like, blow your
races
mind?
look fascinating. Like, I can't wait to see them, dude.
Like, you want your
fuck.
imagination to be triggered by movies like this.
Yes,
so.
dude. I want to see planets that aren't fucking planets and shit. I want to see, like, it doesn't always have to look like Saturn. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, or it doesn't have to look like fucking Earth.
Or it
That's
doesn't
what
have
I-
to be like Star Wars planets, where it's like every planet is one thing. Like, this is an ice
This
planet.
is the swamp planet, and this is the volcano planet, and over
This is
there
the
is
desert planet.
this planet is actually just one big city. Fuck me. Okay, I got
Yeah.
it.
Right.
This is the forest moon.
Like, we don't believe in anything other than one climate on this planet
Fuck,
because
man.
fuck science.
Got it. Okay, we got it. Okay, Kashyyyk. It's got an ocean, but it is also a swamp.
I got to say something that you're not going to believe.
You're
I-
giving up on iZombie.
No, hell no. Come on.
That-
something you're
come on.
not going to believe. Come
Oh,
on.
okay.
I'm kind of looking forward to seeing the monkey movie.
Dude,
The
monkey-
Oh,
CG
yeah, dude.
on that
Looks pretty
looks
fucking cool, man.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, dude.
those movies are great, dude. I
No, the
haven't seen
movies
it.
are not good, but the CGI on
Hey, listen, as soon as I saw a helmet that said fucking monkey killer, I was like, I gotta see this
Yeah,
fucking
right?
movie, dude.
Right?
it looks really well done.
Well,
I don't know how good the story is.
I've
but-
got one disappointment from today, which is the Dark Tower movie, which you know I'm a big Dark Tower fan.
Yeah.
I just heard the runtime on it today is 95 minutes.
Yes.
Ooh.
Which
a very brisk
that
95
never
minutes.
like that just does not equate a good movie.
We're talking about a fucking, like, a series of how many goddamn books?
There are 8 books in that
and they were
series.
only able to get 95 fucking minutes together?
Yes.
That means a lot of shit hit the floor.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is kind of...
That's not a good sign.
It's not.
Well,
Well, you
maybe
know
they
what?
just wanted
I
to
gotta,
be tight.
tell you, Ron. It's not a good sign when a movie like this is in August.
No, I agree. And the marketing has not been brisk on it. And I think it's the thing that's going to make me sad is, first off, this should never have been a film. It should have been on
Right.
HBO, or it should have been on Showtime or
Yeah.
Stars or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And it should have been epic in the Game of Thrones fashion. And
Yeah.
it's going to end up being the fucking Fantastic Four movie.
Yeah. Right.
Where you're going to get done because that was about 88 minutes long.
Who's putting it out?
Sony. You're going to get done. But here's the thing. They went to everybody to try to get this fucking thing made. And basically everybody says the same thing. Like, this is too dense and it's unfilmable. And it's like, I get it. I've read the books. They're fantastic. And it breaks my heart because now I'm like, my one shot to like see this awesome fucking story on the screen. One, it's not even the right. It's like I'm not even seeing it like in the trailers. It looks cool in spots, but it's like not completely there.
Yeah.
And then it's just they were afraid of it. They were afraid of it. It should feel like fucking Mad Max, dude. Like it should feel like this desolate world that's like falling
Right.
apart at the fucking end, and like people have become savage. It should be rated R. It should be violent. It should be like this guy that literally is walking around as the last of his kind that is carrying.
Need to be made by fucking Neil Blomkamp.
Well, yeah, man.
You
And
know?
he's literally like one of the big things of the books is like this dude's walking around and he's like, I've got limited ammo and there's nowhere else to get ammo. I've got like basically he's like I'm down to 32 rounds and every bullet counts, you know. And in the fucking like the middle of the first book, he like decimates this whole town. And he's like, I'm out of ammo. Like I have 3 bullets left, you know. And it's like that fucking like it like the weight of it should be like, you know. And there's like a sequence in the first book where they're like, we're chasing the man in black, and he went this way, but I know we can beat him if we go through the mountain. And so they go through like this mountain, a la going through like the Mines of Moria, and they fucking end up with all of these mutants chasing them in the pitch black, which is like one of the scariest goddamn things I've ever read in a book, you know, because they like shine the light and there's like these tentacled creatures, you know, like coming after them. And so that's like the last of their bullets get used there. You know, it's like this book that should be fucking good and intense and like he completely massacres this entire town that he stays in for like 3 days because like a witch basically like takes them over, you know, and it's like, but she's, you know, she tricks them into like this religious thing, you know, like she's like speaking about the man Jesus. Like, it should be this fucking really interesting world and done in sort of a Western steampunk sort of feel to it, you know? And it's like, it's not. Like, that's not what I'm seeing.
I didn't see any goggles in the trailer.
Well, it's because it's got this like futuristic, like the world went into future mode and then it went so far past future mode that people basically started reverting back into a different, you know, like feudal system almost.
See, I like that. Yeah,
and
I
that, like, how fucking cool would that be? And it's like, that's not what it is. And I'm sad.
They already made that movie.
What?
Yeah, it's called Fury Road.
Yeah.
They've already got it.
It just breaks my heart how good it should be, and it's just not. But oh well.
You know what? I predict that it's going to be all right.
I know you normally like story.
Oh, motherfuckers!
But
so I ran into
probably not gonna get one.
I ran into a couple of listeners, and they've basically started like playing bingo with us. Just so you know.
Oh fuck!
So they went through like all of the little things that we constantly say, and it was like I'm sitting there being wrecked on, and I'm like, but all of us, like, just so you know.
Boy.
And it was funny because they're like, yeah, it's kind of funny but Chris is kind of the bitch. He's like, but I find myself agreeing with him more often than not. And it's like, yeah. And he's like, and Steve, and they tried to do an impression of you, which was really funny. It was terrible. And then I got wrecked on for probably 10 minutes straight about, well, it was earned, you guys. It was earned. I really enjoyed the story. And I'm like, God damn it. So just so you know, I know, we all know you're out there, and I know the things I fucking say, and I'm an insane person. So, but I think the description of you, Steve, was like, yeah, I love Steve, because it's like as if my brain did meth for a hot second and then fucking grabbed some weights and started yelling into the fucking microphone.
That's fucking pretty close to reality. Yeah.
All right, well, I think we're getting to the end of this episode. Even though we do have a lot of stuff still to talk about, we'll have to save it for another time. Did you want to talk about this book, though, real quick, Chris?
We haven't done a comic book in a while, and I came across one that I thought was interesting enough that I would bring it in. It's a book. It's Image, so I figure it's independent. It's called Love Struck by Dennis Hopeless is the author.
Yeah, some Debbie Harry looking.
Right.
On the front,
It's definitely got a punk rock vibe. You'll notice that it is black and white, which I absolutely love.
I like a good black and white comic.
Right. So basically the premise is Cupid is like a CEO, and love is basically controlled through his corporation.
Nice.
So, but secretly. So you've got these people who go out and basically ram people together to fall in love so they can make money off of them.
Is this done by the same people who did that punk rock Jesus?
No, it's not.
That's
it looks
the
like
feel
it, though.
from
You like
even
it
the
a lot?
artwork, yeah.
I always liked Punk Rock Jesus. That was a cool book.
Right, it's a great book.
Oh wow, yeah.
It's fucking great story. So basically, you got these 20-somethings who, the fucking Ramones show up.
That's funny.
It's so well. The main character is a like a music photographer, and she was dating some popular singer dude, and she turns out to be kind of like this really gifted Cupid-esque worker. Cupid is like this super bloated, like morbidly obese dude that basically has a thing over his junk where he just like pisses and shits in his chair and doesn't ever leave. He's just like there. And
the art, it's very like
living the dream.
Right.
It's very like the fat guy from Dune.
Right.
Like it's got like that feel to it.
Yeah.
So
it's pretty edgy.
By Kevin Mellon, written by Dennis Hopeless.
Of course it is.
Yes, of course.
It's just kind of a cool little edgy story. I really liked it.
Cool.
I don't know how
is it only the one graphic at this point?
It's written. I don't know. I was going to look that up before I got here and I forgot to see if it was
at least
continuing.
graphic one, right?
It's at least one graphic novel. I'll look it up and find out and maybe post something on the Facebook.
Cool.
But definitely an interesting take that that love is a business, which I love those kind of stories where you kind of see behind the curtain a little bit, and you see the inner workings that the general public don't see. I love that shit. So yeah, definitely a cool,
that looks cool
book. Love Struck.
Love Struck. All right, so that's our comic book for the month, you guys. We got one last thing. We got to do a little rants over here, and we're gonna do a rant that's also TV based because Steve and I both, for some unknown reason, got back into Fear the Walking Dead.
Yeah,
and
Ron talked me into it.
Although, you know what, this season definite improvement over the last two, but these
That's
people
like
are,
saying, "Oh,
no.
this piece of shit doesn't taste quite as shitty as
These people are still fucking idiots." But
it's not quite as aromatic as
Steve
the last
has literally
piece of shit
been
that I
like
ate.
sitting on this for 2 weeks, and I've been waiting to hear it. So
Listen, both of these shows. Now, I'm more of a fan, definitely, of The Walking Dead than Fear of the Walking Dead. But these people, man, they're worse than fucking Angela fucking Lansbury in Murder, She Wrote. I mean, fuck, you see them coming. You need to go the other way because you are gonna fucking end up dead. Your little spot you've put together, your little fortification, I'm trying to rebuild civilization here. It doesn't matter which show it is. These people are gonna fuck it up.
Right.
I mean, you were doing great. We were cool. You showed up, and look at that. We're all goddamn dead now.
Right.
Because of your dumb asses, dude.
It's every single group. Every one of them comes in
I mean,
contact
they
with.
are fucking Munsons, dude.
Right.
Holy shit, dude. And also, like, man, I can't find my wife in Target. Okay? These people are trekking across, like, between Mexico and somewhere along the U.S. border. I'm thinking somewhere, kind of in the hills of San Diego type. It's like, it's the end of the world. But, boy, they still can find each other pretty goddamn easily. It's like, you guys have some sort of GPS in your assholes?
Yeah, that's what I don't understand.
They even
Do they even have maps?
They even found the boat again. Remember the boat in the beginning?
What?
Yeah, like all of a sudden, I can't remember his name now.
I don't know.
I
quit.
He's scavenging, somewhere, looked like maybe he was in Oceanside. I don't know.
Yeah.
And he looks at it and goes, "Oh, look at that!" And lo and behold, it's the boat from the first season. And it's like, well, isn't that fucking convenient? Like, you had it down in, like, Ensenada or something and just floated on up here,
What happened to the boat?
Well,
They
it was
just
kind
abandoned it or
of
what?
yeah, it was kind of run ashore a little bit, so he wades out there and it's got some walkers on there. He clears them out and he starts talking to some fucking Russian cosmonaut that's stuck in the fucking space station on his little radio. But it's just like this amazing ability to find your crap again in the middle of the apocalypse, or finding a person in the middle of the apocalypse. It's like,
yeah, man, I would have a hard
great.
time finding you in the middle of the fucking mall.
That's what I was saying. I can't find my wife in fucking Target half the time. And, these people are just bebopping through, Mexico to San Diego, and just finding each other. And I was,
It's the show is like, both of these shows are incredibly frustrating for a variety of reasons, but the convenience of the apocalypse at this point is like finding Carol on last season of The Walking Dead, or how they randomly, it's like, and not only that, but like the mothership show, like all these fucking communities that are nearby and we haven't run into each other in all this time, like while we're out foraging, we've never come across each other, gunshots. You would think gunshots in the distance would be something you might investigate.
And, I understand their little political message they were having with our Native American survivors, and I would have just been like, you know what? I don't know if you guys have fucking noticed, but there's lots of land.
Yeah, that shit doesn't matter anymore.
We could just kind of start over, and you can. I'll tell you what. You can have all of this.
Right?
Right? You want the hills of the dead?
Right.
They're yours. Okay.
And not only that, but it's like this idea of like this whole idea of like how do I put it? Like the little warring tribes that have already sort of like, popped up, or like the fucking dude that's running the water, out of the dam,
Right.
Like nobody's thinking ahead at all. Everybody's just sort of like playing for the moment, and it's like, well, this is our land, not like, oh, hey, well, why don't we fucking bring all these people together and like maybe there's, strength in numbers as opposed to fucking like the 25 of us that are here or the 50 of us that are here or
Right.
the 15 dudes that are over here running this dam, that are dumb enough to like hold water. Like, oh, she's the only fucking person knows how to run the dam. I'm going to kill her husband. Yeah.
Like
none of this is well thought out.
And then they brought back Daniel Salazar, our former fucking torture expert or something like that.
And
he's a pain in the ass again. I mean, he's a fucking this guy's
He hasn't
this
grown
guy,
at all.
no.
right?
Nothing has changed.
And I was, what I was ready for? I was ready for him to make the full-on heel turn and be like the bad guy. And I'm all, that would have been fucking brilliant. Like, just let him, like, you've sold us, like, he's lost his daughter, his wife, he has nothing to live for, and he's just going to fall back into old habits and be the fucking villain. And I'm like, good. Nope. Couldn't let us have that.
No.
Instead, we're going to go on a road trip, and I'm going to, for some unexplained reason, like the hotel that's obviously been overrun by zombies, we're going to go inside.
Right. Well, even the scene where like we're looking for dripping water. We're gonna drive all over Tijuana looking for what?
Like there's no water anywhere else, anywhere. Like,
and how the fuck did you know that? Like, oh, we're missing water because this one fountain squirts water at 5:00 until 5:10
every day,
and you've noticed this drop in pressure in your what the fuck? Man, we can't even fucking figure that out now.
How's this?
I was the whole time. I'm like, Ron said it's good, fucking better or something. I'm like, I don't know. Even Jennifer fucking was like, what are you really watching this again?
Yeah, but you got to admit the stuff on the fucking compound was at least interesting. And it started out good, and I thought...
Dude, I'm telling you, these people are fucking Munsons. I mean, they just wander in, fuck everything up, everybody dies, except fucking Junkie, the cutie, and now Mom. It's like, these people.
I could, like, the continuing adventures of the Junkie kid are, like, my favorite part of the whole thing, but the mom is,
I'm out, dude.
I know.
I thought about it for a minute, and I'm like, no, Ron said this is good.
It was the first 4 episodes were I was like, finally, and then it became Cowboys and Indians somewhere along the way, and then the fucking Indians, like the natives, like I totally buy into what they're trying to do, but then it's like you really didn't attack because they have your bones in the fucking carny trailer. Like that was your reason to hold back, like. Like you're pot committed at this point. You fucking spread anthrax on the farm. Like what are you doing? So
then they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna rebuild this helicopter. And I'm like, what does it take? Fucking 87 octane? You're just gonna fucking fuel it up because you own a fucking gas station here? Like,
wish they never used the helicopter.
No, they didn't.
We sure made it a point to show that they could fix it.
This fucking show is just too much for me, man. It's just like I said, like I could take the suspension of disbelief with the undead.
Right.
Everything else though is still fucking game on. Okay. Like you're sitting there like, oh look at this, you got this big old farm, your ranch. Like no fortifications,
none.
You're not prepped for the dead. You got a little bit of barbed wire right there, like.
They must not be running into a whole bunch of them in the middle.
Apparently
of
not. I mean, because
Mexico.
even they were like, like it seemed like they were a little isolated.
Yeah.
They're even though the kids had a head in a cage, which actually was kind of funny
when they pulled it out.
Yeah, I mean, like that's what I would do if I was fucking 15 and living in the apocalypse. I'd be fucking with them, dude.
But here's the thing: like the one family that decides to leave, like where the fuck are you gonna go?
They're going to Colorado.
I've never understood this though. Like in the apocalypse, like you end up somewhere that's good, and you're like, we're leaving. We don't like it here.
We're gonna find something better.
And it's like,
like what fucking Club Med are you looking for? Like, Carol, where are you going? I just want to live out here in this house by myself.
That's pretty stupid.
Like, yeah.
I'm alone. I'm on my own.
I'm a loner.
But only a little bit.
I'm a loner, Dottie.
A rebel.
You've spent 6 years walking around watching people rape, fucking murder, and pillage. And you're like, I don't want to live in this safe place. I want to live in the house on the prairie by myself.
Not only that, you've seen your people eaten, like devoured. You've seen your people die and come back and then try to devour you. You're like, nope. I want a house of my own in the forest.
And by the way,
I don't get it, man.
This ranch, this quote unquote ranch that they're living on, what are they growing in the ranch? There doesn't seem to be cattle or horses or.
No, I think his whole thing was he
was just a prepper, right?
He made his fortune from being one of the first preppers.
Okay.
You know, and to me that was actually believable.
Fair enough.
You know, I know a little bit about that world. It's like, dude, people will spend some money on that shit, dude.
And okay, I buy into that, but then it's like with all their prepping, like they didn't seem very well prepped, like even, except for the food storage down below.
Well, yeah, I mean down below, it's like they're like, look at what we have, all these weapons and all this.
And then they have the random fallout shelter on the far side of somewhere nearby. Like the silo or whatever the fuck the kids were hanging out in.
Yeah.
And it was like, but nothing seemed to be stored there. Like
you know what? The one actual interesting scene out of everything from that show was actually when the old lady passed away in her sleep.
Right? Because we've been waiting for that.
Right? And when she came to bite him, and her teeth were in the fucking cup, dude. And I was like, fuck, that was okay. I read a comic book one time. It was like a bunch of zombie stories, and the whole premise of it is that these zombie outbreaks have happened throughout history, but because dental hygiene was so bad, they didn't spread,
right?
Because people didn't have fucking teeth.
Interesting.
It wasn't until they put fluoride in the goddamn water,
motherfucking fluoride,
that they had strong teeth to turn it into the apocalypse. And it was pretty interesting. So when I saw that scene, and then when he took the gun and he put it to his head, and blew his brains out and hers, it was kind of like a whole like romantic ending to the whole thing. I got that.
So what Steve is saying, you guys, is he can't wait for second half of season 3 for Fear the Walking Dead.
I'll probably fucking watch. It doesn't look like I missed anything in the season that I missed.
No, not really. Not really. All right, well, let's wrap it up right there. This has been a fantastic episode. I hope you guys have all enjoyed this. Once again, you guys coming to you live from our studios here in lovely Riverside. I am Ron, or just remember the North remembers. Go ahead, Chris.
I get nothing.
Really?
I'm the Fear of the Walking Dead Munson.
There you go. And we hope you guys are having a Nerdlife Crisis. Music for the Nerdlife Crisis podcast is provided by Big Papa and the TCB. All music available at bptcb.com or at iTunes. The Nerdlife Crisis is recorded at the Inland Blue Studios. Make sure to subscribe to the Nerdlife Crisis at iTunes and like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram or Twitter at Nerdlife Crisis.